Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Brandon Johnson from Used Boats TV, and today we're going to take you out on an instructional demonstration on this beautiful 2006 Crownline 260 EX bow rider.
But first, I'd like to introduce our channel. I've been passionately selling boats for over 19 years. The purpose of this channel is to help you and your family enjoy boats and boating just as much as my family and I enjoy it. So thanks to the help of my staff here at Crownline Marine and my sons, we've been able to successfully upload hundreds of boat reviews, instructional operation, help, and how-to videos. I don't ask for anything in return, except for the opportunity to possibly help you find a boat when the time comes. So to stay up on everything we upload, click that subscribe button below and stay tuned.
Nice. Once again, the purpose of this video is to take you out on this boat and show you how to operate it from start to finish, all to help improve your ownership and or shopping experience while out there looking for a boat for your friends and family. So do me a favor, if you're interested in a boat in the future and you call Crownline Marine where I work and sell boats, please ask for me. My cell phone number will be down below. So the first thing we do before we put this here boat in the water is we come back here underneath the transom, we put our plug in. If you're a trailer boater, hand tight or maybe a half turn with a wrench is good enough for a day on the water. When you're done for the day, make sure you take it out. If you're going to keep your boat on a lift, I recommend giving it about 1.5 turns with a wrench. If you're over tightening it, you can actually stress crack the fiberglass because what holds the housing in is just 3 screws. So we get our plug in and then we put our boat in the water, so it's got to be in the water to run. And let's do some magic and go in the boat. Now, once you have your plug in your boat and you've got your boat in the water, you come back here underneath the starboard side aft bench seat, so the rear seat, and we have dual batteries with a switch, which is a great feature. So we turn this to all. The alternator is going to keep all those batteries charged up while we're out here having fun. Now, pretend we're going to stop and cove out, throw an anchor, listen to some Kenny Chesney and have a good time. Switch it to 1 or 2. It really doesn't matter. That way our systems are isolated to a single standalone battery. Now, if we go to start it and the battery is dead, we get the old click, click, click. We just switch to the other battery, fires up, and we're good to go for the day. Once you've been running it a while, switch back to both. It'll charge them both back up, and you're good. When you're done for the day, shut it off. But we're going to switch it to all. Now, so you know, the purpose of this video is to take you out on this boat and show you how it works and how to work it. Down in the description below, so that we don't make this video incredibly long, I'm going to include a bunch of links to help improve your ownership experience while out on the water with your friends and families. These links include everything you need to know about boat insurance, boat financing, how to dock boats and tie ropes, how to operate tilt and trim taps. So be sure to check those out if you're interested. But for this bad boy, we're just going to come up to the helm. So this specific 260EX Crownline is powered by a 496 mag MPI. It's multi-port injected amazingness. So to make sure it starts, we're in neutral, kill switch is up, batteries are on, turn the key, the alarm sounds to tell people, hey, we're going boating, and she fires right up. All right, so before you take off, I always recommend shutting your window. Eventually, this will begin to bow against that part of the glass and it'll never fit right. So what we're going to start this video off by, now that we know how to start the boat, we know we got our plug in, it's got to be in the water to run, is systems and operating these specific systems. So shifting, it's real easy. Push in the button on the shifter. Reverse is right here. There's a definitive catch right here, so we can't juice it like that. Neutral in the middle. Forward. Bravo 3 shift extremely easy, and they're extremely easy to maneuver. I just had a customer the other day that was really struggling with docking their boat, and it's a dual prop, which makes no sense to me, but it did after we started talking. So he had his boat in gear and he's trying to dock and go all over the place. When you're in gear and you're turning, you're pushing the boat as you turn. So let's just say we're going to a restaurant. I recommend coming back to neutral, tap and reverse. So there's no brake pedal in a boat. But reverse will stop our momentum to a dead stop, and from there, when you're learning, just don't touch the wheel and the shifter at the same time. Dock's over there, point the wheel there, put it in gear, let it grab, and go. If we steer in gear, we veer. We veer way over there. If we steer out of gear, we'll pivot and we have perfect control. So this boat also has tilt steering right here. Let's run through our gauges, Bill. Let's get a little close. Right here, engine temp, oil pressure, speedometer, fuel, depth finder, tachometer, bolts, tilt and trim. Tilt and trims are out drive. See it going up? See it going down. So remember, down in the description below, I include a link to a video that explains how to work that. Looking at our buttons and switches, we got a blower. This ventilates the engine compartment. Bilge pump, it's automatic. Most likely you'll never use it, but the National Marine Manufacturers Association that governs how boats are built says all boats have to have a bilge pump. Bat horn right here. Plug in our phone and charge it. Right here, navigation light. That's the red and green built in up front, and the white light that we have to plug in the back. Also notice everything illuminates when our navigation lights are on. In the middle, off, down, anchor light, just the white light for when you're stopped at night. Courtesy lights are on this button. Wherever the heck they are. I don't see them. Oh, we're getting some waves. Let's get away from these waves and continue. So we got courtesy lights and docking lights right here. Accessory, God knows sometimes at nighttime it'll turn on something funky. If we ever use our water system, which I never recommend doing, push it down right here. I never recommend it because it smells like sewage in the summertime, the water sitting in the tank. This boat doesn't have captain's call exhaust, but if it did, there's a button for you to add it. Our stereo's right here, and we had to install a new Bluetooth radio in this bad gal.
By real language teachers.
Talk radio really jams. Right down here we have a fire extinguisher. So once again, shifting the boat's really easy. For this portion of the video, now we're going to talk about operation. So what we're going to do is drive the boat. We're going to find a comfortable cruise speed initially. We're going to talk about a good speed for water sports, and then we're going to run it to find what the top speed is. So we're testing this boat. So for anyone at home that's test driving a boat, please remember this. Run it as hard as you can, trim down. Back to that trim video that I explained in the description. When you're trimmed down, you're pushing water this way. Now the boat's floating here. So you keep that nose forced down. So by doing that, that's when you're gonna put the hardest load on the boat, right? Because you're keeping that nose forced down. So we're gonna run at full speed, trim down, and then we're gonna trim up. As we trim up, naturally that lets the nose of the boat get up on top of the water, and our forward momentum really brings us out on top. And then we'll find our top speed. So the reason we test drive it down, that's when it's gonna, and run it hard, that's when it's gonna spit, sputter, pop, backfire, fall on its face, and we don't want that. You don't want that. All right, so now, before you shift it to take off, always remember your tilt and trim button's right here. If you accelerate and you have your finger on the up button, the props come out of the water and you're gonna go nowhere fast. All right, so now I'm gonna take the camera from Bill here and we're gonna go boating. Okay, here we go. So in all fairness, this come to a complete stop. Tap, reverse. Remember, that's our brake, no brake pedal. Right here. So as you can see, we're at a dead stop. I'm gonna zoom into this. So down here in the corner of the screen, I'm gonna include a GPS gauge so you can really follow at home with me. Now remember, the GPS gauge that's on the camera is not showing on the camera as I record the video. It's a super cool thing that I can add. But as I talk about speed, it may be intermittent, like what the speed is on GPS versus this thing real time. All right, so this boat planes extremely easy. It's very smooth. There's no trick. You just slow and steadily apply your throttle. And see how that nose just doesn't come way up? Just like that, and we're already getting nice and smooth. So we're on plane before we hit 3,000 RPM. And the boat has a nice little wake to it, puts off a nice shape for water sports. And it feels very sound right here. And remember, we're trimmed all the way down. So we're just gonna give it a turn. Turning is very smooth because we got power steering. Duh. So really, I mean, we're already running, good Lord, 32 miles an hour at 3,200 RPM. That's pretty impressive. So for water sports, remember, you want to come back to our neutral spot. Obviously, you want to idle forward until you get the slack out of the line, like so. Once the slack's out of the line, there's really no water sports you want to do over 30 mile an hour. So as we push it, we pop that skier up, we push it hard. And then as soon as that nose raises, we're going to go ahead and slowly come back down. So that way, the next thing you know, you're not running 40 mile an hour. See, just like that. See how fast we're going? So right there is 30, so just a little less. this is perfect for pretty much anything: wakeboarding, skiing, slalom, tubing, etc. Very comfortable speed, very low RPM. That's the benefit of having a well-powered boat. Our speed is damn near equivalent with our TAC, our revolutions per minute. So now that we know water sports, let's just find a better top speed here. Just see what feels really good. So remember, from 2,800 to about 3,500 RPM, you're always going to have a slight whistle from the engine. That's just the IAC. No big deal. All MAG MPI motors do that. So really, right here at 3,000 RPM, I'm going to play with it. Oh yeah, about 2 clicks. Let's do 3. That's too much. So 2 clicks. Right here is super comfortable, about 3,200 RPM, 35 miles an hour. The boat feels right. And what I mean by feels right is simply that, like, the floor feels good at my feet, the steering wheel feels good because we're not forcing it down, we're on top of the water, just cruising very comfortably. So now that we know what our comfortable cruise is and how to do water sports, let's find a top speed. Trim back down, push it hard. Woo-hoo! 496 MAG MPI really rips. Look at that rooster tail. Holy cow, this thing will perform. Look, we're running almost 50. Trim down. So right here, boat's not missing, hitting, spitting, sputtering, popping, falling on its face. We're trimmed down, so we're going to trim up to find top speed. 2, 3. I tell you what, at this speed, we're covering a lot of ground in no time. 50 something, 4,800 RPM. That's incredible. I had no idea the boat would run this fast. Isn't that nuts? This boat weighs just a little under 6,000 pounds, and we're running that fast. Always trim back down before you turn hard. Go ahead and take this, Bill. So just under 6,000 pounds, this boat rides amazing, and I can't believe how well it performs. Typically, you know, this style boat, you're not going to get this kind of speed. This thing is really tight, runs awesome. It's incredible. It really is. So let's go ahead and turn it hard. So you can kind of see, turning's nice and smooth. Nothing's loose, you know, wobbling. The boat's nice and quiet. It really is awesome. So I'd strongly recommend the 260EX Crownline because it's huge and it performs extremely well. It's got a lot of great features like the rear folding sun pad back there, the flip up armrest in the bow. Very hard, once again, to get them with good power like this. It's extremely rare, but the boat still has all those great features even if it doesn't have that great power. So one thing I also want to tell you in regards to test driving boats, another thing you want to do is come into gear and turn it all the way as hard as you can at idle. Now, if you hear a slight chatter back there, you want to check out the gimbal ring, gimbal bearing, U-joints, etc. Obviously, there's no chatter. We inspect, check, clean, and correct boats sell before we sell them within reason, so there's not going to be any chatter. But anyhow, I love this boat. It runs amazing. We're going to go back to the boat ramp and throw it on the trailer, and we're going to take you with us. Let's go. Son of a bitch right here. You know it? It's crazy. It's like it eats up the water, like, let's go, let's go. Boats that aren't this fast. things I want to cover real quick with you guys while I got everybody's attention still, I hope, and you're watching to this point of the video. Number one, porpoising. Porpoising is when a boat starts to swim like a dolphin. That can happen from a variety of things. You know, you've got a good trim angle set at a cruise speed, and then you slow down, speed up, or weight shifts, and the boat will stop hopping a little bit. Or you hit some waves. When you hit some waves, the boat maintains a rhythm like a skipping rock going down a creek. So if that happens, a lot of people want to trade their boat. Feel free to. I'd be happy to help you. Anyhow, that's not really what you do. So trim back down, turn a little, and you can turn right out of that porpoise. All you're doing is stopping that momentum, straighten back out, reset your trim. The second thing that I wanted to cover was, oh yeah, the other day I had a customer, so I know a lot of people always question things like this, and let me just explain it to you. So this boat turns extremely smooth. There's no question about it. But you'll notice when you're going perfectly straight on pretty much every boat, your wheel may not look perfectly straight because that's a steering cable. So it's a bunch of wires all twisted together. And as that steering cable is brand new or really old, either way, those wires get looser. So as they get looser or get tighter, right, if you replace it, the wheel is not just gonna stay here centered. It's always gonna kind of turn, right? It's gonna lose its spot as the steering cable is aged, gets older, or is brand new. So what you do is you take this clip off and you can reset these bolts when you're going straight. See, there's different kinds. This one's way nicer. So you just reset these when you're going straight. So that's a question I get asked a lot. In my own boat, I have to do it about, I don't know, once a season, sometimes twice, because it annoys the living shit out of me. So hope that answers your question. Now we're gonna put it on this brand new trailer and pull it out of the water. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're gonna end the video with some drone footage. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and I'll see you on the water.
Just a good old boy.